if you turn on any YouTube channel and they tell you that a calorie is a calorie is a calorie and all that matters is calories and there's no difference between eating 100 calories of Oreo cookies and 100 calories of butter.
Seriously,
you need to run the other way because they have no idea of what they're talking about because the body doesn't work that way. There's all kinds of things like thermodynamics of food and how your body processes it.
How about nourishment?
Nourishment, everything about it. So you need to run. If anybody tells you there's no difference, that all calories are the same, they're ignorant. Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 231.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
two crazy ketos. And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you're new here, say hi down below.
Now, here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
We're on vacation. We're on vacation.
We're in the studio, Joe. We're not on vacation.
Yeah, but we're on vacation when people are watching this Keto Beyond the Couch.
I hope that you are making sure that you wear your hat, Rachel, on vacation.
You won't be watching this because you will be where there is no cell or internet service.
Sometimes I get a sunburn only on the part of my hair.
We're going back, like way back. Back to a time when you didn't have a way for people to contact you at any given time of the day.
So basically just our childhood.
We're
going back to
That's a long time. At least for me, it's a long time.
Our childhood. Yeah, it was a long time.
It's so funny because, okay, so I grew up obviously where you called somebody when they were home, and if they weren't home,
you moved on.
You didn't talk to them. Oh, well, I guess I can't talk to them. I mean, when I was growing up, you didn't even get answering machines until, like, I was a teenager. And then, of course, when we got one, got in trouble for, like, singing in the answering machine and mom being a doctor did not go well at all.
I got in big trouble.
What did you do?
Well, I would do that, I would turn every answering machine message into like a song parody.
Okay.
So I can remember I did one with that Amy Grant, like, please leave a message and we will remember you.
Really?
Yeah, my dad was so mad. And I did that, the George Costanza, believe it or not, we aren't at home. Please leave a message after the tone. If we were here, we'd pick up the phone. Where could we be? Believe it or not, we're not home.
That was good.
My dad would be like, get that thing off of the answering machine because work would call.
Right. Yeah, so we are going camping, but boat camping.
Yeah.
Right? We're gonna go boat camping. We're heading out to Lake Powell, and we spoke about this.
Powell, not Powell, right?
Powell. Powell. Okay, but we've spoke about this. I was thinking about it the other day. In our marriage, we have never taken a vacation where the intent of the trip was a vacation other than our honeymoon, and that was one night.
You're putting a lot of pressure on this trip right now because I'm going to have to be like, relax, like, you know.
Is that your pooping face?
This is it. This is my relaxation face. That's how bad it is, Joe. Like, sometimes I can make
I'm looking forward to this.
I can make a job out of things that should be fun.
Well, you've got a whole, like, thing of games and board games.
That's to help me.
That's to help you.
I literally need structure.
That to me is creating a schedule of things to do for fun. That is not relaxing to me. Relaxing to me is whatever happens.
I am going to have these things in place like toys, and I believe that the kids, the bear children, will help me use them properly. I find that Peyton is helping me to relax because I don't have a schedule for her when I'm babysitting her. Even when the kids were little, I had like organized play. Like everything was geared toward making them more successful at school. So I would turn it into like flashcard time. And so with Peyton, I'm just like, play whatever. You want to just play with the lid of this bucket? We could do that for the next 45 minutes.
Organization probably would have helped me not get fat, because at least I would have organized what I was going to eat. But now I just eat the proper human diet, so it doesn't really matter as much.
Well, I'm going to tell you that in that case, it doesn't help, because nobody was more organized when it came to like eating than me, especially when it was oatmeal time, 500 calorie a day for 2 years. I managed to gain weight on that. So yeah, I think that just keeping the food correct and like not being so crazy helps.
So we're super excited about this trip. Again, not going on vacation. Will we film? I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
But the purpose of the trip is not for work. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about hanging out with our friends. And just to let you guys know, this is not obviously live, what you're watching right now.
Rachel
and
can't
we're
even
not
say
live
hi.
in the chat. Yeah, we're not live in the chat. There will be no live stream this week. And we probably will not be answering comments in Mighty Networks or emails. We are bringing our Starlink, but it's kind of like maybe go up, check a couple things once or twice a day. You can't run it all day. It uses a tremendous amount of power. And I don't know how well it's even going to work out there. We'll have to see. So just to let you know, if you're sending us messages this week,
we're not ignoring you.
If you're leaving comments, we're just not available.
That's right.
It's funny because like my mom will call, like, you didn't answer the phone. I'm like, do you remember a time where you just couldn't answer the phone? Like, you called when you got home. Like, I grew up in a time where there were payphones on the side of the road, and you pulled over and, hey, I got to make a phone call.
We do not have a continuous glucose monitor that we're wearing for this particular trip. We really probably should.
We do have some.
But I think it is interesting. I bet just not being available sometimes is the greatest way to bring your blood sugars down. That's why I like to dive.
People are like, why do you like diving? Because nobody can bother me. I mean, and that's not a mean thing to say. It's I can relax and be alone with my thoughts.
I am excited to see Chris relax.
Yes.
And Miriam relax, because Chris works extremely hard.
Yeah.
And it feels like he gets other people's jobs even when he's relaxing. Like, he goes on a low-carb cruise, and, you know, he's also
his job is the tech guy.
Right, the tech person.
Don't worry, I got some work for him.
Right? So I'm actually looking forward to just seeing him relax. I want to slap a CGM on that man, because he's always working so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to start off with Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new to our channel, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about subscribers. We love to celebrate wins. We love to celebrate success stories that you've had. And your success story, your win, does not have to be I lost 100 pounds.
No.
It could be something as simple. For the first time in my life, I've gone 3 days without sugar. And we want to celebrate that. So we ask you, please share your story. It is so important to share your story. Head over to our Mighty Networks group. It is free to join in there. Members.2crazyketos.com. Leave your story in there and also chat with some other people. Now, if you want to support us financially, we would greatly appreciate that. This is our full-time job. And you can do that in Mighty Networks with a $5, a $10, or a $25 level. However, you don't need to pay anything to be in the group.
No.
And we really love celebrating stories. We also like answering questions and comments from the last week that we found in our Mighty Networks group, as well as on our different YouTube videos. We're going to start off with our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week, and this one is from Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Teresa put this picture of the bridge, and I love this. She said, the best routes are ones you haven't ridden. You can pedal the same loops year after year. Many people do, literally or figuratively. But to grow, you need new rides, risks. You need to turn down lanes that you've long seen but never traveled. Get lost once or twice, then double back to where you started and try again. Live like this, and you come to see unknown territory not as threatening, but as intriguing. From Mark Remy, Bicycling Magazine 9-1.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful. What a reminder. And this is it. I mean, when you talk about like celebrating your story, sometimes the story that we like to celebrate, the win we want to celebrate, is a new adventure. Has nothing to do with the scale, except I continued eating consistently real food until I felt good in my body and could do stuff, could see things, could embark on adventures that I've never done before or haven't done in a long time.
What I get out of that is you look at keto. Keto is that road that we're afraid to get lost on.
Yeah.
That is the road that you see where you don't see the end. Mm-hmm. You know, and you're like, I don't think I should go down there. I may get lost. It may take me someplace I don't want to be, like eating fat, right?
Right.
Because we grew up, fat is bad, right? Eat lean, eat protein, eat lots of carbohydrates. You need to eat fruits and vegetables and grains. Don't eat meat. Eat this much meat. And so we've been ingrained to think that's not really the way, that's the way we're supposed to eat, and that keto would be a bad thing. Like, oh, you're going to have a heart attack. Oh my God. I mean, the comments that we get, we've all heard them. And so if that wasn't working, maybe it is time to take that detour road. And that's how I look at that story.
Oh, I love that.
Right? You like, take the detour. Because what we were doing wasn't working. They say, what is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're doing on the standard American diet?
And I gave it a good 40 years, Joe.
Right.
Like, I feel like I gave it more than the good old college try.
And so for all of us who are eating the proper human diet, we've veered off. We've taken the, road closed, detour, don't go this way. And now look at where we're at. We're at the finish line, or on our way to the finish line, way ahead of following the normal route that everybody's supposed to be going.
I love it.
First subscriber of the week, I'm super excited about this one, is from Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
Nancy, I'm excited about all of them. That came out bad. I'm excited about all of them, but like this one is just amazing.
I miss you, Nancy. We're just with her at the Orlando Summit. Looking forward to the meetup that she's putting on with Sarah. We recently did water aerobics even together. It was just so much fun, and I love her so much.
So Nancy said, I have struggled my whole life with my weight. The first picture, which we'll show you in a minute, was the day before my gastric bypass surgery at 309 pounds. The second picture is today at 150.8. Total loss of 158 pounds.
Wow.
Even after my gastric bypass surgery and regained most of what I lost with it, and then I found keto, which has saved my life. I beat myself up some days that I'll never get to a goal of 139. But then I praise God that I have come this far.
Yes.
Whether I ever hit my dream goal, I can finally say, I love myself for whom I am, and thank God for my life and my awesome friends and family who love me and support me no matter what size I am. Thank you, Keto family.
Oh, Nancy, how beautiful. I mean, this is a gorgeous woman inside and out. She is just fun to hang out with, and I love hearing people who have decided to approve of themselves. Once you realize God approves of me, I am not striving to find approval. God loves me right where I'm at, right? Your family loves you. They want you to live. I mean, I think sometimes even when they nag us, it's really out of a heart of, I want you to live. I want you to be around. But when you see somebody who decides, like Nancy does, I am going to approve of myself. I am going to decide that I love myself right where I'm at. And yes, I've set a goal. Yes, I've set a standard. I mean, it's good to have goals. But if I never hit that number, that is not a magic number that's going to unlock my joy. I am deciding to be joyful right here, right now.
Next one we have is from Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
Jennifer said, all of the non-scale victories. I used to be probably over 500 pounds. I've been ketovore, closer and closer to carnivore for almost 5 years, and am maintaining a 200 plus pound weight loss while trying to take off more. I also have Hashimoto's and have been on thyroid meds for 35 years. My body told me recently in no uncertain terms it is not ready to come off of thyroid meds. But my stubborn anti-thyroglobulin antibodies are down to a 10.
Wow.
Lower than ever.
That's fantastic.
My A1C has been 4.9 for over a year. My cholesterol labs are perfect. And my last fasting insulin was down to 4.1. Best of all, I got my first CSC about a month ago, and it is 0.
Wow.
I turned 47 at the end of July. There's no picture.
Oh my gosh. But that is incredible. Those numbers are priceless. And I'm glad that you realize there's so much victory to celebrate.
Yeah.
Like we are not going to wait until you get some sort of number scale or, I need to see results in this certain little pocket. There's so much to celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, we recently, when we were in Omaha, they were talking more and more about getting that CAC score. Like, that is a very important thing to have eyes on. 0. You got 0.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with some comments from last week.
Are your kids going back to school? Because back to school is really staggered this year.
I think the kids in our community went back today.
Well, and our nephews went back earlier in the week, but then Caleb was saying another county that he works with kids, not for another couple weeks.
What happened to summer break being July and August?
Right, and we didn't go back to school until after Labor Day.
Us too. We went back after Labor Day. And even when John Paul and Anthony and Caleb, when they were younger, it was like the last week of August. It's like August 9th.
I know. I feel like they just got out of school.
I don't know. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you subscribed to our channel? Have you hit that bell button to be notified when we upload new videos?
I would hope so.
Did you know that it is still 70% of the people who watch our videos are not subscribed to the channel?
Help us out.
I don't understand. It's free.
Oh
It
my
takes
gosh.
2 seconds.
Please.
Head down below, hit that subscribe button. We have a goal. We want to hit 100,000 subscribers. More importantly, we want to reach people about keto. We want to change people's lives one ribeye at a time. And the best way that you can help is to subscribe, to hit the bell button, and make sure you're leaving comments, nice comments. Comment on the videos because YouTube loves when we interact with you and you interact with us.
Thanks, guys.
So that was our public service announcement for the day. We're going to start off with our first comment from last week from Purple Love and Nuna, Debbie.
Yes, there needs to be a Ketopalooza 2024.
That's right, there does.
Please. I'm already saving up to go to that next year. Can only afford one with other family stuff going on. Thank you so much for sharing my post and your words. Rachel, thank you regarding Mighty Network. Are you pulling any comments or such from there for Keto Beyond the Couch? Other option for bread is Egg Life wraps. 1 carb or less depending on the flavor.
Yeah, so she has a lot going on in here. But yes, number one, we need a Ketopalooza 2024. Yes. But don't forget, there is Ketopalooza 2023.
Not too late to get tickets.
That's coming up the first week of October. We have a link down below, along with the discount code. We don't make any money for being there. No. We don't get paid to be there. We don't get paid if you show up. But it's important for us, for people to be in community, because community helps you be successful.
It's important for you to go.
And so that's definitely important, but we also want to encourage Autumn that this is a conference that the community needs, and so let's get planning for next year as well. Plus, I like teasing Autumn.
Yeah.
But yes, do we pull comments from Mighty Networks for Keto Beyond the Couch? Yes, we do. We're trying to pull more and more. We just need more people to leave comments. The biggest thing about Mighty Networks, I think, that people love, if you haven't been in there yet, is, yes, it is like Facebook, and you can put up comments, and we can live stream from within, and there's no ads, and there's no companies coming in going, you can't say the word fat and we're going to ban you off of, Facebook.
There's no bots that can join.
But I think what people really like about it is the instant messaging feature. So remember the old AOL instant messaging? So it's got that, but Facebook, it's got a combination of everything. And we don't really pull questions and comments out of the instant messaging because it goes so fast. So leave your comments and your questions in the regular home page.
It's also nice to have a direct messaging option. So a lot of people will direct message one another, but you're in the safety and privacy of Mighty Network. So let's say you're using your own Facebook handle, you're in our Facebook family group, but maybe you don't want everybody to have all of your Facebook access, because that's where you have your private photos or your list of family and friends that are in your Facebook. In Mighty Networks, it's a completely separate entity unto itself.
And as we said, Mighty Networks is free for all of you to join. You don't have to join in our paid memberships. You can join on the free level. We pay for Mighty Networks.
So you don't have to.
So that you don't have to. We pay every month out of our pocket to maintain the Mighty Networks platform and to not have ads and stuff. And that's also that you don't have to. One thing I will say, if you do have a question for us, you want to instant message or private message us, the best place is in Mighty Networks.
Right.
If you send us an instant message in Facebook, we won't answer it. And we're not being mean by not answering it.
I just can't do all the things.
We don't check Instant Messenger in Facebook. So if you have a message or if you want to contact us through an Instant Messenger, the best and really only place to do so is within Mighty Networks. Just go to members.twocrazyketos.com. Next one we have is from Tony.
Tony, yes.
My question is on electrolytes. Is it necessary to take them every day, especially if you've been on keto for a while? I saw a video by Nisha where she says it's not necessary every day, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on the subject. I was using Keto Chow Liquid, but now I'm using Relight. Maybe you should do a comparison of the different brands showing the difference in the amounts of each mineral they provide and the cost.
We've actually done that.
So we actually have done that video, but it was years ago, and it was really, that video was done before Redmond Relight and before Element was available. And so I think we keep saying we're going to do it, and then we just never get around to it because it's going to be very intensive. Because I'm going to really dive into exactly what you're asking for. How many minerals in each one? Which one is the best value? Now, as far as do you need to take electrolytes every day? It depends on you. It is a personal thing. For me, I can't go a day without electrolytes. If I do, I get headaches, I cramp, I don't feel good, I start to bloat. If you're very inactive, maybe not so much. Also, what is your diet? If you are eating things like avocados and some other greens, things like spinach, you may not need as much to take in and as much potassium because you're getting some of that in those foods. If you're eating a more meat-heavy diet, you may need to add some stuff. The biggest electrolyte that we all need, I mean, the big three is magnesium and then potassium and sodium. But the one that everybody needs every single day is salt. Everybody needs salt, and I can promise you, if you're salting your food and going, I have enough, you probably don't have enough.
Yeah.
You know, you look at what the USDA recommends, and your requirements are so much higher, especially because you're on keto. You should be doing a minimum of 1 to 2 teaspoons of sodium a day. Don't worry about having too much. Your body will flush it out as long as you're drinking water. What I would say is we should all be taking every day is the Keto Chow Daily Minerals.
Yes.
That is what was designed by Dr. Berry, and those were designed to replace the minerals that are not in our food because we are farming, even raising our cattle, on minerally depleted land. And so that is giving you things like iron and magnesium and stuff. And so I would start with that, and then if you need extra electrolytes, then you use Keto Chow Electrolyte Drops or Redmond Relight. I drink 2, 3, 4 Redmond Relights and Elements a day.
But I will say that it's going to be very individualistic.
Yeah.
Like, we live together. We're in the same climate. Climate, atmosphere, all of those things impact you. But I would say, Joe probably utilizes more electrolytes than I do. But so we're under the same roof, but we're two different individuals.
Next one we have is from Janet.
Hey, Janet. The first 2 years of keto carnivore, my ketones were always a 2.0. Now, or to a 5. Now, still strict, mostly meat, fat with an occasional keto chow, and my morning blood ketones are 0.2. 0.3 with a blood glucose of 93 to 100. Does this change after a long time of as close to 0 carb daily as possible, or because I'm closer to my proper human weight?
So, yeah, it changes for a lot of people. The longer you're doing keto, many times your blood ketones are lower than when you first got started, and that's because your body has got better adapted to utilizing them. It produces what it needs. Remember, your ketones in your blood are simply unused ketones. It's just your body's not using them. So the longer you're doing keto, the more efficient your body gets with ketones. So the key is making sure you're producing ketones. if you are concerned about a higher glucose, especially if you're eating mostly meat, many times we're not eating enough fat.
Right.
Like the biggest problem that carnivores can have is a tendency to eat too lean. And if you eat very lean and not a lot of fat, especially if you've been doing this a while and your body is now fat adapted, you could tend to have a slightly higher glucose because you're not giving enough fat. But if you give yourself more fat, eat closer to 2-to-1 fat to protein or even 3-to-1 fat to protein, you'll find your ketones will go up, your glucose many times will come down a little bit. But it's not something that you should really worry about. If you're eating close to zero carb, your body's got nothing else to be fueling on.
It's going
to fuel on fat, ketones, and then glucose. Even though you're not eating glucose, your body will make glucose because it does need just a little bit. Next one is from
TGA Ron.
Okay.
I haven't been losing any weight for weeks. I've been eating between 800 to 1,000 calories. I guess I need to eat more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not eating enough.
Yes. So your body is like trying to help you out by saying like, man, if I let go of what I'm getting, we ain't gonna have nothing. We gonna starve to death. So I'm gonna hold on to everything.
Yeah, now remember, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. Everything we talk about is based on our own personal experience, what we have learned, what we've experimented on for ourselves, and what we have learned from talking to people who are doctors, nurses, and health professionals. I am a certified primal health coach, master health coach, and this is something that is talked about a lot, is that we tend to undereat. There's no way your basal metabolic rate is 800 to 1,000. If you don't know what a basal metabolic rate is, that is the amount of fuel that your body needs just to survive if you were in a comatose state.
Right.
So you're laying in bed, you don't get up, you're literally peeing in a diaper, like you're unconscious. That's how many calories your body needs. If you do anything beyond that,
which we are,
which we obviously are.
You got up to
if
type
you're
this.
typing on your computer, you're doing more than that. If you get up to go to the restroom, if you go to get mail, if you cook your food, you're doing more than that. You need more fuel than that. So, whatever your basal metabolic rate is, you need to be eating slightly above that at a minimum. But what happens is our body will adapt to whatever we're giving it. So if we're only giving it 1,000 calories, our body will learn to survive on 1,000 calories. It does that by slowing down our metabolism. Hey, I don't need to grow hair this much. Nails, they're not that important. All of those kind of things. You have no energy. I mean, that's right. You're on a diet. You're miserable.
Miserable.
Why are you miserable? Because your body is like, I need more food, right? So at this point, really, you can't lower anymore.
Right.
And increasing activity is going to make it worse.
Yes.
Okay, this whole idea of eat less, move more, it's kind of nonsense. It doesn't work 100%. You have to eat the right foods. You do need to move, but you need to eat the right foods. Rachel was gaining weight at 500 to 700 calories of oatmeal and then lost weight eating 2,500 calories and not moving a whole lot more. Right? So the only thing you can do at this point is increase the amount of food you're eating. And this goes back to the beginning. Remember the road that's really scary, that dark, dreary road we don't want to go down?
It's very scary. And you can increase it slowly. You
have to increase it slowly.
You're not going to go from 800 to 2,500 in a day. Just commit to the process of slowly increasing your calories. And don't give up even when you find it to be a little bit scary. And it is. It was scary for me to start increasing calories. It was scary for me to start eating things that were fat because I equated like, I don't want to eat fat because I want to lose fat. This is why are we adding more fat? But this is what we need to do.
I'm going to tell you what you need to do is you need to increase from 800 to 1,000 calories over about 12 to 15 weeks. You need to increase that all the way up to about 2,000 calories. Now, here's what that means. That means that during those 12 to 15 weeks, there's a good chance you will not be losing weight.
Right.
But what you're going to do is you're going to get up to those 2,000 calories, 2,100, 2,500 calories. You're going to get up there. You're going to stay there for 2 or 3 weeks. Then you're going to knock 300 or 400 calories off. And all of a sudden, voila, your body starts dropping weight even though you're eating twice as much as you were when you weren't losing weight at 1,000. Because you've slowly ramped up your metabolism.
Yeah, it's an investment in the future. I think about when we got chickie babies, when we get baby chickens. They arrive, I know, right? They arrive one day old, and I'm not yelling at them that they have not produced any eggs, right? Because we're just getting started.
It takes them 6 months.
It takes time for them to develop. And I trust the process, right? Like 100% of the time I've seen baby chickens that grow into chicken, hens lay eggs. That's what happens. It just takes time. So, don't yell at yourself because you're day one of chickie baby. Trust the process, stay consistent, keep going. You will see results. It's just going to take time.
Let's take a quick commercial break.
I hope I remember to pack my water shoes.
Going back to that last comment, it's funny you brought up the chickens. And so we talk about when it comes to your weight loss. Now, in that case, 800 to 1,000 calories, way too low for anybody. And then you're not even telling us what kind of calories are you eating. Are you eating 800 to 1,000 calories and mostly protein? That's going to be even worse.
Right.
Because a calorie is not a calorie. I'm going to tell you now, if you turn on any YouTube channel and they tell you that a calorie is a calorie is a calorie and all that matters is calories and there's no difference between eating 100 calories of Oreo cookies and 100 calories of butter.
Seriously,
you need to run the other way because they have no idea of what they're talking about because the body doesn't work that way. There's all kinds of things like thermodynamics of food and how your body processes it.
How about nourishment?
Nourishment, everything about it. So you need to run. If anybody tells you there's no difference, that all calories are the same, they're ignorant.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you're eating mostly protein and you're not eating carbohydrates, you're not giving yourself any fuel. So your body will slow down more. But the thing you were saying about the chickens really got me thinking about, we talk about a lot when it comes to weight loss and your overall health. Only 80% of your health has to do with the food you're eating and the amount of food you're eating. So the type, the amount, all of that. Only 80%. You can have your diet on point. Everything perfect. But there's another 20% we have to worry about. And that is sleep, movement, and stress. And if we don't handle those, we're going to run into problems. We're going to hit a stall. We may never be able to lose weight. At the very beginning, if we were eating like complete trash, like the 80% fixing the food, good enough.
It's going to do a lot.
But eventually, you got to hit the other 20%. And I look at chickens, right? So you get these chickens, you finally get them up. 6 months, they're all producing eggs.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of like a really bad heat thing going on, right? It's been super hot. The heat wave has been insane.
Their bodies are stressed.
On average, with our 10 chickens, we get 7 to 8 eggs a day. You know how many eggs we're getting?
Not this week.
We're getting like 7 to 8 every 6 or 7 days. Like we literally came home from gone in Orlando and there were 5 eggs.
Yeah.
And I said to the kids, what happened to the eggs? Are they eating the eggs? I've tried locking them up. No. Are they hiding them somewhere else? No. It's just so hot. They're not producing. So they're eating and they're getting water, but the stress is affecting their eggs. It's the same thing with our weight loss. There are outside influences that are impacting your weight loss other than the food that you're putting in your body, and you have to handle all of it.
That's hard news to take, Joe. I did not want to deal with the stress in my life.
I still don't want to deal with it. Yeah. That's my biggest problem. I mean, I would love to drop another 15 pounds, but I am really struggling on getting a handle on stress, especially sleep. And it is something, I'm hoping this vacation will really help me with that. And it is the end of our travel, like, being gone every week or 5 out of 7 days for a month and a half. That has been very stressful. And so, but if I don't handle that, I'm going to just start gaining weight.
That's right.
Next one is from Lori.
Hey, Lori, another non-scale victory. I haven't had to use my shoehorn to put my slip-on shoes on for 2 weeks. Now, that is awesome. And I totally I used to use a shoehorn also, and when I didn't have a shoehorn handy, Joe was my shoehorn.
I just remember the day you realized I don't have to tie your shoes anymore.
Yes.
Because you used to lay on the bed, and I needed to tie my shoes. I had to tie her shoes every day because she couldn't bend over to tie her shoes.
I even think about my precious dad. Like, I almost want to tear up thinking about it. But he had gotten to the point where he actually needed a structure to help him put his socks on. He was not going to be willing to let my mom do that, but he needed aid to even put his socks on. So it was like this little apparatus, and he would put his foot down in it, and it would like roll up his sock.
Yeah.
So it's like, these are major victories. Like, I'm really, really proud for you.
Next one is from Margaret.
Hey, Margaret.
Hey, family. I love the yogurt recipes. Since it comes out the consistency of cream cheese, how can I make it into cream cheese? What flavors would you add? It seems like the next progression with these two yogurt recipes. P.S. I love me some Philadelphia brand.
We actually have a recipe for cream cheese.
We have a video on how to make cream cheese. It is similar, but different.
It's the same, except different.
I will leave a link for that down below in the description box. And if I remember, I will put it up here. But it will be down in the description box.
It's so good.
But you can really substitute our yogurt for cream cheese. You can also sub it for sour cream. You can sub it for cottage cheese. You can... If you want it thinner, don't strain it as long. Or even put a little bit of the whey back in. Some people even put like an almond milk back in to kind of thin it out a little bit. But I kind of like it.
I like it thick.
Thick, like almost like a cream cheese because it's more substantial and I don't tend to eat as much.
But I'm telling you, make the cream cheese recipe because it is so good. And also, like, you need to make the blue cheese dressing recipe because that's really awesome also.
Next one is from Mary.
Hi, Mary. Okay, this is for Joe. Have you seen the new Ninja Thirsty? I know how you love kitchen gadgets, and this looks pretty cool. Sorry, Rachel. I had to tell.
Yes, I have seen the Ninja Thirsty. Don't worry. I'm not buying it.
Yet.
No, I'm not. So I've looked at it.
Okay.
And basically what the Ninja Thirsty is it's a soda stream.
Oh, okay.
It is a soda stream. However, it doesn't make 1 liter bottles. It makes it by the glass. It still uses a CO2 cartridge. It's same thing, like a 60 liter CO2 cartridge.
Yeah.
You put it in there, you store the water on the side, it makes it by the glass, and then it's got these 2 little things that you would put for flavoring. I have no intention of buying it for a couple reasons. It is $180, so it's kind of about the same price as a soda stream. However...
Can you hack it?
Probably not yet. Somebody, I'm sure, will come up with an adapter for the bottle. But the bigger problem that I have with it, from what I've seen in the research I've done on it, is those little bottles that are flavorings, they go in between where the water comes down and, like, your glass. I don't know if you can bypass them. I don't even know if you can make just seltzer water with it.
Oh.
Now, if you can, that's great.
That'll be different.
But if you can't, that's a problem. And then as far as flavoring for soda, like they say they have Electrolyte one, I'm sure not a lot of them are sugar-free. It's very proprietary. Like, it's in a special bottle that fits in there. And, like, the Soda Stream... What I like about that is you make seltzer and you can use anything you want for flavoring. You can make your own flavorings. You can buy their flavorings. You can buy the Pepsi flavorings. Like Crisp Air, you know what they do is they go and they buy the liquid, like Walmart, like Mio type enhancers.
Oh, wow.
There's some that are pretty clean and you put a squirt of that and now you have
easy.
Orange flavored soda, grape flavored soda, you know, whatever you want. You can put OOO drops with a couple drops of stevia. You can put, like, just some lemon in there. We use the Daily Minerals. And so, for me, it's too much like a soda stream. And now that our soda stream is hacked or modified so that it's costing me just pennies for the CO2, I really have no reason to. If you haven't seen the video, we do have 2 videos on how to hack a soda stream. One on the old model that uses the blue refills and one on the pink refill, the newer model. The old one is called like the fizzy. There's a couple of them, but the fizzy one touches the one you can still find, and then the Terra model is the newer one. And we have a video on the Terra model now is even easier than the old model.
Really easy.
It's like literally anybody can do it. If you have a 3-year-old, you can give them the soda stream and the hose and go have at it, and they can do it. So that's where I would go. I wouldn't bother with the Ninja one. I think it's too proprietary, and I try to steer away from things where the ingredients are proprietary.
Yeah.
Next one is from Robin.
Hi, Robin. I have a keto blood meter. I know there are different opinions on their usefulness, but my question is, does anyone use the test strips that test cholesterol? And if so, what are the opinions of their accuracy?
This is a great question because I actually did mess with them. The test strips, the at-home test strips for cholesterol can be accurate. They can be accurate. But
I feel like there can also not be accurate.
Remember what was it? Nothing after the but matters, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of user error with them.
Okay.
And so my suggestion is, I think they cost too much money. And you can use Own Your Labs. We'll have a link for it down below. And we even have a discount. We don't make any money from Own Your Labs. But it does help fund the Citizen Scientist Foundation run by Dave Feldman. And then if you agree to let them use your lab results anonymously, then you get another 10% off. And you can literally get your cholesterol checked through Own Your Labs for less money than buying the at-home test kits.
Yeah.
And all you do is you go on, you sign up, and then you go to a local LabCorp. Like for us, Walgreens have LabCorps. They draw your blood. You get your results back within a day. And that is
awesome.
Going to give you good, accurate results that you don't have to worry about doing. Next one is from Christina.
Hey, Christina.
Hi, everyone. Just wondering if anyone can provide some insight. I've been wearing a CGM for the last 10 days. My glucose always run in the high 90s. There were a few nights where my glucose dropped to 63 and the alarm went off. Today, it's been ranging from 96 to 101. The highest today at 101 was after exercise. I'm not sure what I can do to lower it. Any suggestions would be great.
Stop exercising. That's
Don't
terrible.
say that is going to
advice.
be that is going to be a clip. Somebody's going to take that and say,
No.
Rachel from Two Crazy Ketos said, "Don't exercise; it raises your glucose."
Obviously, I was taking a page out of Dr. Linskis's, playbook.
I'm just saying, somebody's
where he
going
says,
to take that.
I think that you're doing great.
I think your glucose is spot on.
Yeah. The fact that it's consistent is the key, right? I like to say wherever your, numbers are, you want it to be like a handwriting line. If you've got that, the paper where you would teach a kid how to keep their handwriting in line, you want to keep it in that graph.
I say you want to keep it in like a 20 to 30 point range. Mm-hmm. You're never going to see really a flat line like 96, 96, 96, 96. It's going to go 96, 105. It's going to kind of go up and down. So anywhere between a 10 to a 20 or even 30 point range. Because again, when you exercise, it's going to go up. If you get stressed, it's going to go up. Now, if you see this giant 60, 70, 80 point spike after eating, that's a problem. But if you have a big giant 60, 70, 80 point spike and you didn't eat something, and then you look back, what happened at that time?
Was I stressed
Did I get into a fight with my spouse? Was I exercising? Was I stressed? Did I get worried? Did I get into an argument? Any of those kind of things can increase it. But also remember, a CGM, none of the glucose meters, whether it's a CGM or a finger strip, they're not super, super accurate. They have a margin of error of up to 20 points. I'm curious if you're checking it compared to your blood. Because for me, a CGM runs 15 to 20 points higher than blood. So what I'm looking for is consistency.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily paying so much attention to the number as I am consistency. Is it staying consistent or am I all over the place? It is normal to go down at night, and actually you want your glucose to go down at night. Rachel's drops all the way down to about 53 at night. But because she's fueled by ketones, we don't worry about it. You can turn that alarm off. You can't turn off the alarm below 55 for ultra low.
But you can just close the app.
But you can turn off the app. Unless you are a type 1 diabetic that is reliant on a CGM for dosing. Don't turn off your app. Ever, please don't ever turn off your app if you need it for CGM for dosing. I hate the word dosing, but you know what I mean. Giving yourself insulin. But if you're just doing it to keep an eye on yourself, I would turn it off at night if you're worried about the alarm because you can't turn off that low alarm. But I don't think that 96 to 101 is bad, especially if you might be running higher. It might be at 80 or 90. But if it's been consistent, don't worry about it. Now, if you really do, if that's where your blood is and you want to see a lower one, work on stress. That could be part of it. And make sure you're eating enough fat. Sometimes if we're not eating enough fat, as we said earlier, you have a slightly higher glucose. Next one is from Patty.
Hey, Patty, this is not easy for me. I am an introvert and making my presence known isn't something that comes easily. I just watched Joe and Rachel's video about the conference in Omaha. Somehow, in my weird thinking, I've not even thought about going to a keto conference because I haven't perfected this way of eating and I'm not at goal weight yet. How could I possibly go looking the way I do and knowing I stumble with my walk? After watching the video and hearing Rachel talk about not being perfect, well, I'm going to Keto Palooza. I'm scared out of my wits. I'm also going to attempt posting more and interacting more. I love to build community, make friends, have support, encouragement, and accountability. Thanks for letting me share and hope to meet some of you in October. I'll be the flower on the wall. Well, I am picking that flower, Patty, because I am so excited that you're coming out. Like, this is basically the entire reason for our channel. It is with the hope that if people will be willing to put themselves out there, we will be there to meet them. That is why we put our money where our mouth is and go to so many conferences. We use our own money because I believe in investing in community. And before you put yourself out there, I want you to know we are going to put ourselves out there and we are going to meet you there. If you're willing to get there, we will get there and we will meet you there. So you're not alone. And I'm so excited to meet you, Patty. Like, this is making my entire week.
We spend well over $10,000 a year to go to conferences. We pay with our own money, with money that we may earn from the channel, with our channel supporters. We greatly appreciate that. But for us, this is what it's all about. It is about building a community. We have both been in that place where we were afraid to talk to anybody.
Yes.
We were introverts. I know it seems weird that Rachel is an introvert, but Rachel is an introvert. I'm certainly an introvert. And so for us, it's super important to get out because it's going to help you keep going. It makes you realize you're not alone. It allows other people to help lift you up and you can lift them up. And no matter where you're at in your journey, you know, there are a lot of people that say, like, they struggle and they think that nobody else is struggling. And when you come out and you go, hey, I'm struggling too. Let's struggle together. That's why we have our communities. So that if you're having a day where, hey, I'm really having a hard time not eating a cookie, there's someone there to help you. I mean, it's almost like a 12-step kind of thing. We're there to help each other, to be friends. And I am happy to say that all of my friends have been made within this community.
Yes, and I would say that, like, it helps me be more consistent. If you're somebody that's like, well, like you're saying, Patty, which I really appreciate you sharing, like, all of the things that are going through your mind right now, because I think a lot of people think the same way you do, like, I'm not going to fit in because everybody at this conference is probably super consistent and I'm not consistent yet. So I need to, like, clean this fish before I get it in the boat. And the reality is that this is what gives me consistency. It's the community that, like, challenges me and helps me to stay on this path. So when you make friends and you say, like, hey, I'd like to have some more accountability, the conference reminds you why you do it. So all of these dynamic speakers that, show you the science, you're not unclear as to why you want to pursue consistency in this way of eating, but it's the people in the community that help show you it's possible and cheer you on, one 24-hour cycle at a time, because that's what we have to do. We have to live it out 24 hours at a time.
And I'm going to say this. So, I mean, pretty much the conferences for the year are almost over. Keto Palooza is your last opportunity.
Don't miss it.
You do have Low Carb San Diego, but as we've said before, that's really for doctors. It's not a community event. It's one of the reasons we don't go. So you have Keto Palooza. We have our friends Sarah and Nancy. They're hosting an event, just a get-together meetup in Central Florida area in September. I know other people. Go to lowcarbevents.com. You'll see a list of all that stuff. If you're hosting a meetup, and again, it doesn't have to be a conference, just a meetup. If you're hosting one, Chris said there's a form on there to submit so he can put it on there to let other people know about it. But I'm going to tell you, so next year we've talked about, here's where we know we will be next year. And it's pretty much all of the community things. Omaha, Keto Palooza, because we're going to make sure we have one, Keto Orlando Summit, the Low Carb Cruise. There's a possibility something is going to be out in Vegas, but we haven't heard it. There's a possibility. Once we know more, we can tell you more information. We are organizing within our Mighty Networks group for channel supporters only at first, and then we'll see how it goes. Like a cruise. Like, just like, hey, we're going to get together, we're going to hang out. No speakers or anything like this. But what I'm going to tell you, as you're deciding to go to a meetup or go to a conference or where should I go, what should I do, I'm going to tell you this. don't base your decision on the speakers that are speaking.
Right.
The speakers are awesome. Seeing Dr. Barry speak is awesome.
It's
Seeing
amazing.
Dr. Boz speak is awesome. Seeing us speak is awesome. It's awesome. However,
you're a mess.
It's not the focus.
No.
The focus, why we say it's so important to go to conferences, is for community. It's when we go and we see a group of 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 people sitting in a circle, eating lunch together, talking about struggles, talking about wins, going, hey, you know, we met people, they lived next door to each other or down the street from each other and didn't know that the other person was doing keto.
Some people we've met at meetups like work at the same workplace, but because they're on different shifts in different departments, they haven't met each other.
Right. So base it on what type of event is it, and then
proximity.
Who do you know from within your online community that is going where, you know, you can meet up with them, hang out with them, and look at it that way. Proximity to your house. Again, the speakers are great. I'm not taking away from the speakers. But a lot of the speakers, you can watch their YouTube videos.
Right.
You can watch our YouTube videos.
Like the community is priceless. It's priceless. And you know, and you need it to be real. Like you need that face-to-face interaction. And I am going to beg you from my heart, please, for me, if you won't do it for yourself, will you do it for me? Don't go into the holidays alone. Do not go into this next season by yourself. If you have an opportunity to come to Ketopalooza, you're still on the fence about it, please go ahead and invest in yourself, invest in community. It's going to make the holidays different. You can begin the next year in a totally different mind space. Like you could be going into January 2024 super victorious because you're willing to make this investment here in October 2023.
And I know we dragged this topic on for a long time, but I have to bring up one other thing from Ketopalooza 2 years ago. The highlight for me was Rachel walking across the bridge with Erica.
Yes.
Who hosts the Keto Orlando Summit with Judith.
And Mama Cress.
And the two of them, Erica was struggling, and she's like, I don't like to lift my arms. And Rachel's like, I don't like to lift my arms.
And it was Mama Chris that said,
yep.
we had gone from Kentucky into Indiana.
Walking the 5K.
And she stopped us in Indiana, like while we were still on the bridge. And she said, those thoughts about yourself, they're not coming back with us. They're not coming back into Kentucky. You are going to throw those thoughts, that negativity off this bridge today. That doesn't come back with you. And I will never forget that moment. That is not something that I'm going to get from a YouTube video. That's an in-person, life-changing experience that happens in the midst of community. Because that's
and you
something.
You guys lifted your arms and left it on the bridge.
And now I can lift my arms and joke with it when we're like on the stage at an event. But the change that happened in my mind, it happened there in Ketopalooza on that bridge with a real life person putting her hands on me face to face, investing in my life, speaking into my life. You need that. You need that. Do that for yourself.
Next one is from Kate.
Hey, Kate.
Doing some research on high blood glucose on a low-carb diet, I have found several interesting articles. Here is one. Basically, it needs more time. My glucose is coming down, but not as fast as I would like. But I have to remember, it took 70 years to get to this place, and it is not going to get fixed in a few weeks. It will take as long as my body takes to heal, and that might not be on my schedule. I have to remember that consistency will pay off.
That is so true, Kate, and we need that reminder. You know, I was talking to somebody at the Orlando Summit and talking about how it's like all of a sudden things are happening on the outside of our body. Like we're starting to see kind of like the results that we've been hoping for and we've been waiting for quite some time, right? And I've been, we're like in year 6 of consistently being keto. And I was talking with this young lady who was saying, I have a feeling there was so much organ health, so much internal repairs that needed to be done that I'm healing literally from like the inside out. And there was just so much stuff to fix that I couldn't possibly have the outward change that I was hoping for fast tracked. And I feel the same way. Like every single year we stay consistent, I feel better. I feel better and I see results on the outside, but man, this takes time because I was eating really junky for a long, long time. And here's the thing to keep in mind also. If you're like, hey, I don't like how fast this is going, what are you going to do? Are you going to go back to the sugar and the garbage and the not even actual food approach? I'm not going back there. I know that there's no answers back there. I know that there's no health to be found there. That ain't ever gonna work. So yeah, we're gonna stay consistent. I'm sorry that it takes as long as it takes, but things are happening.
Next one is from Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
Can anyone recommend a non-dairy protein shake?
Asking for a friend.
I've got two for you.
Yeah.
Number one, Keto Chow Core. Mm-hmm. I'm always going to tell you Keto Chow Core, which I don't have one here. Okay, but the reason I'm going to tell you Keto Chow Core is because the Keto Chow Core has vitamins and nutrients and electrolytes in it. So does it cost slightly more money than a regular protein shake? Yes.
But it's a
However,
meal for
we
real.
shouldn't be using a protein shake to increase our protein. We should be using meat. Protein shake should go along with your food. So if you're using it as a meal, make sure you're getting all of your vitamins and nutrients, which you're going to get with Keto Chow. Now, Keto Chow Core just came out in large bags.
So it's
and so
cheaper.
you can use our discount code and you're going to get the best deal on it, buying a big bag and then getting 10% off when you use our link down below. So I'm going to always recommend that. It is a beef protein. You can get it flavored, sweetened with stevia, or you can get it unsweetened and add whatever sweetener you want or not have any sweetener at all.
Now, the no sweetener, like the one without stevia, that's not in the big bag.
That's correct.
Just the
That's
one with
only in
stevia.
individual packets. So you have that, and then it has gum acacia, which is actually a good healthy fiber, and your body is not going to digest, and it actually helps your body to create ketones. If you don't want Keto Chow, my suggestion would be Equip. So I have a link down below, and we have a discount for Equip, which is also a beef protein powder. It's made with beef protein isolate. They do use good ingredients. I actually think the carbs are higher in that than they are in Keto Chow, if I remember right. But the biggest thing with that is it does not have the vitamins and nutrients. That's just going to be flat out protein powder as opposed to getting all the different vitamins you need. The only thing I will say with a non-dairy protein shake, because again, do not use things like pea protein, okay? That protein is not as bioavailable as a meat. So if you're going to use the beef proteins, just be aware they don't mix super well, any of them, in cold water. You need to warm up the water, and you will need to use a blender. None of them are going to mix up like a dust or like a milk protein powder. So that's what I would suggest. If you don't want a milk protein or if you want a non-dairy one, go with a beef protein. Next one is from Ola.
Hey, Ola. You would think after 4 years I wouldn't be tempted by dessert, but you would be wrong. Coworker brought in something for a birthday celebration. I won't say what to not trigger anyone, but I resisted.
Yes.
Just kept up my mango electrolyte water, which is plenty sweet. Too much, actually. Great job, Ola, but also a great reminder that, man,
we still struggle.
We still struggle. It is hard every single day. And we make a million choices a day, and sometimes we can be blindsided by something we're not expecting.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Can I just put this out there
Put it
in
out
our
there,
community?
Joe.
So you said 6 years. I just celebrated my 6th anniversary of keto. I'm in year 7 of keto. I can't believe that. I still go to Costco and see the pizza and want it. Now, I resist it. I don't think about sweets. I don't think about cupcakes. I think there is plenty of stuff in the keto space, whether it's a prepackaged or it is something that I could make at home that I can substitute. If I really, absolutely want to have a cupcake, we have lots of cupcake recipes on our channel. There's lots of other videos out there to make a dessert, right? So I don't struggle with that. I don't even struggle with the bread. If I really, really want bread, I just make Neely's butter bread, right? If I want to wrap, I use egg lives. If I want pizza and I'm at home, we make our chicken crust pizza. We have a couple of different ones. Our favorite is the chicken crust pizza. But I still see that Costco pizza and go, I wonder what it would be like to have that.
Yeah.
But then what reminds me to not eat it is the way I feel.
Right.
And I know how I'm going to feel if I eat that.
It was interesting.
But I still struggle with the thought.
Again, community is important, right? Like just having people around you that cheer you on. And recently we went to the Magic Kingdom with John Paul and Michelle, who are also in our, keto community, which is kind of exciting. That's, happens to be our child. But we were going through the park and I smelled smells because there's a lot of...
They even pump the smells in there.
They pump the smells in. And so in that moment, I was like, oh, that smells good. Like it literally like came out of my mouth.
The smell of popcorn is a trigger for me like you wouldn't believe.
And so it was in that moment that I was so thankful for community, because it was actually John Paul that said, that probably isn't even actual food you're smelling. I bet they're just pumping in the smell. And do you notice that a lot of times it is such a letdown? Like the smell is amazing, but the actual food, once you get it, is like, that's not what I expected. And I was like, yes, you're so right. And he was talking about some other things, like even like waffle cones, because there's always like a smell down Main Street of this. But he's like, I have never once like actually gotten it. I've purchased it based on the smell, but then when it was time for the experience, it was always a letdown. And in that moment, I was just like, wow, because again, like you, I thought, should I have adulted past ever being tempted by anything? You're not gonna.
Well, we eat with our nose and our eyes.
Right.
It's not the taste. Because if you really think about it, think hard about this. Think inwardly. When you have a treat, and I'm not talking about like, eating a steak as a treat.
Yeah.
Like that sweet dessert. Do you enjoy the whole thing, or is it just the first couple of bites?
Right.
Do you enjoy it when you first see it and you smell it and you take that bite? That's so good. And then...
It's diminishing returns.
As the more bites go on, not as good. Because it was... What really triggered us was the sight and the smell of seeing that.
The planning
of having that. That's what really is what is working on us. That's why companies spend so much time and energy on making sure their photos of their products
visually
look
appealing.
So good to make you buy it. It's kind of a laugh about it, but the lawsuit going on with Taco Bell right now.
Yes.
Right? Taco Bell is being sued because the pictures of their food is not what you receive.
Right, don't look this
And it's true. But we also know they pay these photographers a lot of money to stage that just right and load it up. And we buy it based on the picture that we see on that billboard. And then we get it and we're like, that's not what I thought it was going to be.
There is one food that has never let me down. Can I share what that is?
Beef?
Bacon.
Bacon
smells amazing.
Yep.
I get excited and planning.
Unless it's snotty bacon.
And have an anticipation, but I can fix that because I can just cook it longer.
Okay.
Right? So I get that anticipation like bacon. Bacon's really going to flavor stuff up. And then I eat the bacon, and 100% of the time,
From beginning to end.
I'm like, yep. Like the anticipation, the smell of it cooking, the finished product, eating it, bacon.
So long as you don't burn it.
Never lets me down.
Next one is from Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina.
Okay, I just bought 5 pounds of pork belly and wonder, is there a video about how to prepare and cook it? Yes, there is.
Yes.
On the Two Crazy Ketos channel, it's cooking pork belly like a brisket. Smoke it like a brisket.
Smoke it like a brisket.
I'll tell you how to do it, but we do have a video for it. I'll leave a link for it down below, and if I remember, we'll put it up here.
It's going to make your week if you do it.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take that pork belly. You're going to put it into a smoker, and then you're going to smoke it at about 230 to 250. Actually, you can even bump this one up to about 300. You're going to smoke it until you get an internal temperature of about 155 to 165 degrees. Then you're going to wrap it in a boat. What do I mean by wrap it in a boat? Instead of wrapping it completely in aluminum foil, you're going to wrap 3 sides. Bottom, up the sides. Let the top be open, fat side up. Make sure you got salt on there. It's going to taste delicious. You're going to, and you put slits in that fat, by the way. Again, this is all in the video. So you make a boat. You're going to put it back in that smoker, and you're going to let it go until you have an internal temperature of about 210 degrees. You're going to take your meat probe, because we never barbecue or do any kind of cooking without an Insta-Read thermometer. I'll leave a link for one down below. And if you really want to have accurate, use your meter to monitor everything going along. Then you know exactly how long it's going to take. You take that meat probe and you just fling it. And when that needle goes through and it sinks all the way down, it's like done. Butter. It should go in like literally a hot knife in butter. I know it's a silly saying, but it should go in with 0 resistance. That pork belly,
so good.
If you close your eyes, you're going to think it's a brisket.
Well, I think it tastes better than a brisket sometimes.
The fat on the top, when you put the salt and you have it, it's like caramelized and it just melts in your mouth and it's sweet like you're eating cotton candy. And then the meat down, and now I want pork belly.
It is one of those moments when you're eating it that you are totally clear on the fact that we are meant to eat meat. That's one of those, and you're not confused.
Here's the thing about pork belly smoked like a brisket. It doesn't take as long as a brisket, like 3.5 hours. That's all you need. So go check out that video. We do have one more. It's from Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Said it's fun to be off the couch.
Oh, Kathy. This is truly the greatest picture of the week, because you are right. As much as we are trying to get this nutrition thing right, and we're trying to deprescribe medicine, and we're trying to like get up and get moving, it is all for one purpose. And that is to enjoy life, to get out there and live our life. So thank you so much for sharing that photo, because clearly you live in some life out there.
Well, that is going to be the end of this week's Keto Beyond the Couch. We really appreciate everybody for joining us. Now, we do have videos coming out scheduled this week, and we will be back live next week, probably for Keto Beyond the Couch, but certainly for our Thursday night live stream, which is on 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Everybody have a great week.
We love you.
Bye.